Hi everybody, it's Mr. D at In the Middle of Mr. D1 at blogspot.com, and I just had a request for something that I've been wanting to do, so I'm just going to do it. I want to talk about how I make the rehearsal process efficient and the concert itself efficient for the students. This week, the first thing that I did on Mondays are always a good day to do this. I started out with going through, maybe I should put this on TPT, this little list. It tells you everything about what the concert's about, what you're being graded on, the whole works. If you want it on TPT, just let me know and I'll put it up. Then I talked about the joint rehearsal, because the joint rehearsal is Wednesday, right? It was yesterday. So we went ahead and I showed them this chart. The joint rehearsal is in the cafeteria instead of the gym where our space is. So I showed the kids where to sit, in relation to the cafeteria stage. Okay, I did not bring any chairs in the room because I wanted it to be efficient and quick. So they just crisscross applesauce on the floor for that rehearsal. I made sure that before Wednesday, every child knew where to sit and stand in their concert position. For sixth grade, because it's their first time having a big joint rehearsal, I went ahead and had a little joint rehearsal with them the previous day on Tuesday and made sure that they had their spaces where they knew where to sit. And then I counted the rows so that I knew there were like 23 people on row 1, 22 on row 2, and you'll see why in a minute. But that made everything run efficiently. So for their joint rehearsal, so they all come into the joint rehearsal. I had them staggered for their entry into the joint rehearsal. 2:15 was the sixth graders. That gave me time to sit them, make sure they were situated, sitting down in their order, because when you have no risers in a rehearsal, it's very hard for them to get organized, right? But they had the numbers and everything, so that helped everything go with more organization. And then they sang just a second or two in the environment right before the seventh graders arrived at 2:35. The seventh graders all came to their spots, and I made sure they were situated. I did the seventh grade girls first, just a little singing, make sure everybody was standing close and sitting in their proper order, and then feeling the environment again. Same with seventh grade boys. The seventh grade boys in our concert, they have to walk from there to me, right? For their song, because it's a smaller group and I want them to be heard and closer to the audience. So we practiced that really quick so that during the rehearsal they were feeling confident, before the eighth graders arrived, because there's all kind of peer pressure and things that occur in these events, right? So then the eighth graders came and they pretty much know what to do, but they got into their spot. And I made sure they were situated, gave them a little second to sing and like the beginning of Carol of the Bells or something. So then once the rehearsal began, I had everything queued up and ready to go. So I just pressed play. I used mostly tracks, and then I've recorded the accompaniment on the piano, so everything goes smoothly, quickly. They stand, they sit, they practice not talking. We've talked about that all before. We've talked about the expectations and all of that before, so that, and in a positive way, so they learn what they need to do for their actual concert. So then, on their day of their concert, they will be in the gym, which looks a little bit different, okay? So on the day of the gym, we're setting up the gym at about 11. They're having rehearsal, so I can do some mic checks and things. Then we're having a big rehearsal at about 2 for some of the soloists, some of the staging things. And then at 2:30, all the kids are coming in. And this is gonna be challenging, right? Because they have chairs. Now, the reason I counted the sixth graders to make sure I had them all set up, in their little joint rehearsal, so I know to put like 23 chairs on that row, 22 there. If they're absent, I tell them to move in so that, there's no gaps. The eighth graders will have a big set of risers. That's pretty easy. Seventh grade boys, the chairs we will deal with that day during their regular rehearsal, because they meet before the others. So I'm lucking out there. But I'll just show them exactly where to sit, and their chairs will be all set up. And the seventh grade girls are on risers. So in my concerts, we go from, I can't stand wasting time going from, okay, seventh grade girls, do all your songs, sit down, because parents leave. It's rude, and I know they shouldn't, but it's what they do. So what I do is I save their time. I start right on time, 7 o'clock on the dot, and I go from song to song to song. All the kids have this little Let me show you. They all hold this little order here, and they have that in their hands, so they know exactly what's coming. And we go, like, I think the first song is Everybody. So everybody's standing. We do a little quick warm-up, everybody's standing. And then the 6th graders go second, so they all sit down. And then the 8th graders go and 7th graders go, and then at the end we're all standing up. But everybody sits and stands very quickly. That's why we get it done in such a quick amount of time. And then nobody leaves. And everybody sings the last 3 songs. So that way everybody stays. So that's kind of what I do. I hope that helps you, gives you some ideas, and have a great day.